Yes, thank you for your story. Because I grew up with a golden cockerel. True, because my uncle was a lorry driver for Courage Brewery. And we had a golden cockerel from one of the lorries in our garden. And so I grew up with a golden cockerel, and I grew up in the land of hops, in the county of hops, which would be Kent, which was also called the Garden of England. And it was very famous a while ago, probably before I was born actually, for one particular kind of fruit, because of the soil. It's apples, yes, we got a lot of apples in Kent, but actually it's cherries. Kentish cherries were the thing, because of the sandy soil. And I grew up next to a village called Sandway, and that's where we used to have to go and use the telephone, which gives me a chance to say to all of those of you who are around my age and older, Button B. You remember Button B? Yeah, nobody else. People have no idea what he's talking about now. So the Garden of England, and the people of the Garden of England have a very special relationship with the moon. And the people of the Garden of England, when the earth was still young and Kent was just that bit sticking out at the bottom of England before anybody could call it Kent, would look at the moon in the sky, and she was always full. And her light shone down pale and blue on Kent, and the people sang to the moon. And at this point, you know you've got to sing. Now the problem is I've got a sore throat, so it's going to be quite low tonight, so I'm warning you now. So you sing after me. The sun has gone to sleep at night. The sun has gone to sleep at night. So come, pale moon, give us your light. So come, pale moon, give us your light. And then the people of Kent would look at the beautiful full moon and sigh. So everybody loved the moon, and they looked forward to night time so that they could bathe in her pale blue light. Everybody loved the moon except for the sun. The sun was jealous. The sun was up in the day, giving his strong golden light, giving heat and warmth, and yet the people of Kent would insist on looking up at the moon and singing, the sun has gone to sleep at night. The sun has gone to sleep at night. So come, pale moon, give us your light. So come, pale moon, give us your light. And if that wasn't bad enough, they'd then sigh. And so the sun decided that he had to do something about the moon. And so he invited the moon to play poker. Now, I come from a Methodist background, so I can sneer at people who play poker, because we don't gamble in the Methodist Church. So the sun played poker with the moon. But what could they bet? What would be the stakes? Light. The light. Now, if you were to play poker, would you think that the sun would be a trustworthy adversary? No, because the sun is so bright, the sun can hide cards wherever he wants. And so the sun gathered some of the moon's light from her, and then gathered some more, and then gathered more and more, until there was no light of the moon left. And the sun took the light and hid it where no one would find it. At the end of the next day, the sun went down, and the people of Kent sang, the sun has gone to sleep at night. The sun has gone to sleep at night. So come, pale moon, give us your light. So come, pale moon, give us your light. No moonlight. Nothing. Perhaps she didn't hear us. The sun has gone to sleep at night.
The sun has gone to sleep at night.
So come, pale moon, give us your light.
Come, pale moon, give us your light.
Nothing. And the people of Kent went to their beds in darkness. And every night, night after night, people went to bed in darkness. During the day, they went looking for the moonlight. But of course, it would be difficult to find moonlight when the sun is full high in the sky and beaming golden bright light down on the earth, and no one could find the moonlight. And they forgot what it was to sit and stare at the moon and to love and to sigh. What's Kent famous for?
Cherries.
Let's take you to a cherry orchard near Sandway in the middle of Kent on the sandy earth. And in the orchard, the beetles are doing their work. Well, when I say doing their work, they're eating. Eating the farmer's crop of cherries. One beetle is nibbling through one of the cherries. Nibble, 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 nibble. Until he comes to the part that you can't nibble, which is the... But in the stone, there is a crack, and through the crack is bright blue light shining, which the beetle can see because he's inside a dark hole inside a cherry. And so what is in the stone? The light of the moon. And so the beetle worked hard at cracking open the stone. And as soon as the stone was open, the moonlight returned to the sky, so that at the end of the day, when the sun went down, the people of Kent were going back to their beds, and they looked up in the sky, and there was the moon. It's a beautiful night tonight. So when you looked at the moon, did anybody look at the moon on the way in?
Yes.
Yeah, what shape was it?
What's it about?
Almost full. It's gibbous at the moment, isn't it? So it's not quite full. So, and sometimes, last week, I was actually telling this story, this time last week in a yurt, to some children who were about to go to bed, and it was a beautiful crescent moon that night. And so we could talk about, why is it a crescent moon? Why is it a gibbous moon? Well, of course, the moon had to give the beetle a reward for helping her. So she gave him some of her light. And the descendants of that beetle have always carried that light. So if you're in Kent and you see a glowworm, you know that they are descendants of the beetle who released the moonlight back into the sky so that the people of Kent could sing, "The sun has gone to sleep at night. So come, pale moon, give us your light." And she surely did, and the people of Kent sighed.